العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها الإنسان إنك كادح إلى ربك كدحا فملاقيه. فأما من أوتي كتابه بيمينه فسوف يحاسب حسابا يسيرا وينقلب إلى أهله مسرورا. وأما من أوتي كتابه وراء ظهره فسوف يدعو ثبورا ويصلى سعيرا. إنه كان في أهله مسرورا. إنه ظن أن لن يحور بلى إن ربه كان به بصيرا. آمنت بالله صدق الله العظيم. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا ونبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه. السلام علينا وعلى عباد الله الصالحين. أما بعد. In this world there are billions of people living, and there have been billions of people who've passed away, and majority of them, they have been trying to establish truth, that what is the truth. Philosophers, scholars, people from different religions, from Buddhism, from Hinduism, and those even atheists, those who do not believe in any religion whatsoever, they have been trying to establish truth. What is the truth in this life? What is our existence and purpose of our existence and the reality and truth about this world? Because there is confusion. Science yet still is discovering, it has not established the truth. To reach the absolute truth. But slowly, human beings, they are on their own journey. And the truth and the haqq cannot be many things. Let's say 2 plus 2 is 4, it's one answer. It can't be that there is 5 as well, 4.5 as well, 3.5 as well. But for the people and human beings and for us to know that truth is not what we think, what we have concluded. That is your biggest mistake once you believe that you know the absolute truth by yourself and by your research. That's what people like to think, or people think sometimes, especially the educated philosophers and scholars, and think that we've reached the end. If that is so, then there are, let's say, 1,000 intellectual, intelligent philosophers, wise people, scholars, and each of them might have different understanding, different conclusion. So the truths cannot be many. If there are 1,000, for example, what Socrates said, what other philosophers of Greek said, what Ibn Sina, other people, scientists in the ancient world or in the Middle Ages or in the modern world, they all saying something different. So truths cannot be multi, that there's so many truths, there's so many haqs. Truth can only be one. And whatever conclusion you, me, others, scholars, they will arrive at by themselves, it will be due to their limited knowledge, limited scope, and there's so many limitations, limited memory. People don't have infinite memories. Their senses are limited, their memory is limited, their brain's capability is limited, and their sources of knowledge is limited, where they get that knowledge. And then their faham, their understanding is different. That is the reason that the creator of all, the Khaliq, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, revealed the truth. And he said about the Quran, Inna haza lahul haqqul yaqeen, haqqul mubin, that this is the clear truth. If you want to find absolute truth, whatever is mentioned there, there is no doubt. That's why he began his book by saying, not mentioning anything else, but saying, La rayba fi. This is the book that in which there is no doubt. All other people meaning except Anbiya and others who have taken the light from Quran and Wahi, I'm talking about others, they still confused. They might come to a conclusion. Next year, they might say, oh, we were wrong. We thought, it was like that. Like science, in science it keeps happening. Every few years, people say milk is not good for you. Then next year they say it's very good for you. And then actually new research. What is new? New research is nothing but actually some striving, some effort of someone's mind with a limited ability. But our people take a new research. When someone is researching, itself it is evidence he doesn't know. That's why he has been researching. You get the truth from someone who doesn't need to research. Who doesn't need to research. Who has it absolute in front of him, and that is only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and Anbiya alayhi salam, because Allah Azza wa Jal subhanahu wa ta'ala is the teacher of the Anbiya alayhi salam. So maybe now you have ideas about this life, what is this life, what's not. Everyone is living a life according to what they think is the truth. They're dealing with people, they're doing business, they're living their life. In their own mind, they've reached that this is what it is, and I am living according to that. And as I said, that there's always possibility that you will have deficiency in there. That is why there is need of such knowledge which doesn't come from a limited source, limited being. A human being can be biased towards his family, others, from which nation he belongs to, which time he is born, he has needs, he has fears. So the truth has to come from someone who does not have any fear of anyone, who does not have to research, who does not have to ask someone. And that's what is in the Quran. So do not believe what you think is the truth, because you will be confused and wrong, and what the conclusion which you draw. But rather, the truth and haqq is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in the Quran. That is truth. All other things which are opposite to it are going to be falsehood, no matter how much research and things are done. So this is one peace of mind you have once you are reciting the Quran, reading the Quran, that you have peace of mind that this is the ultimate truth you have now. You don't need to look somewhere else as such. Everyone through the ages, the science, the different arts, slowly, one by one, part by part, they are agreeing with Quran. They're coming in line with Quran. Quran has never changed its verse or its anything which is mentioned in the favor of something. It never happened up to now. Yes, you find scientists have discovered this now, or it's already mentioned in the Quran, and this is how it is. These things happen, but it never has happened, oh, we have to now rethink what's in the Quran because such truth has been established that now it is. Bible in some cases, because of that was also truth. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned it. Fihi hudan wa nur. It was the light and it was truth. But due to human being additions and omissions, things actually happen sometime. But the Quran is not only the truth, but it is also the saved, the preserved truth. وَإِنَّا لَهُ لَحَافِظُ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, I am the one who sent this book, this nasiha and this zikr. إِنَّا نَحْنُ نَزَّلْنَا الذِّكْرَ وَإِنَّا لَهُ لَحَافِظُ. And I am the protector. As the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the heaven, which is called Lohe Mahfuz, the preserved book, tablet. As it is mahfuz, similarly Quran is mahfuz on the earth as well. Because the preserver of both of them is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. तो जिस तरह आसमानी किताब लोहे महफूज, उसका नाम ही लोहे महफूज है, वो महफूज है, इसी तरह कुरान ज़मीन पर आके किताब महफूज है. It is also protected by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yes, human beings do different interpretation and they can go astray as well. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave a way for that as well. He sent a messenger who will explain. That is called hadith. Then he had companions and companions of companions who knew the meaning of hadith and Quran. They are known as the imams amongst the Sahaba and Tabi'een and Taba Tabi'een. Because what many people are confused today, they say, oh, I am reading Quran, I am reading hadith. They might as well be doing that, but that is only the text. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam did not transfer the text only. You see, there are always two things to a book. There is the text and there is the meaning of the text. In Arabic, one word might have 10 meanings, 15 meanings. So how are you going to translate? The person who've done translation of Quran and Bukhari or Muslim or Tirmidhi, he might have he've chosen one word. Who is going to decide that which Arabic word is translation for this? For example, the word salah has so many meanings. Salah means reciting durood upon the Prophet. Salah means dua as well. Salah means mercy as well. Salah means the worship, the prayers which we do, which we call salah. They're all coming from the same word is used. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam passed to the Sahaba Ikram the text of the Quran and Hadith. Text of the Quran and Hadith, because that is also a kind of wahi. Second thing he passed was the meaning of Quran and Hadith. Meaning of Quran and Hadith. The meaning of Quran and Hadith is like the spirit, the ruh of this. So he passed to Sahaba Ikram not only the text, he handed the text to them and then he handed the meaning to it. Now, in this day and age, many people, they have access to the text and matan of Quran through Quran, book of Quran, the book or internet or the text of the Sunnah, and they don't have the meaning which was given by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to the Sahaba Ikram. They don't have that. And they jump to wrong conclusions. They jump to, for example, if I give this book to Brother Usman, this is like, for example, the text passed by, for example, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And this is like the meaning of that text. Uska matlab jo hai, Quran or Sunnat ka text. This is the meaning. So I passed, for example, both to Brother Usman. Let's say Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam passed to the companions. And the companion, you pass to that brother there. Yes, they pass to the Tabi'een. They have both things. Show the both things. The Tabi'een, the Imams of fiqh, like Imam Abu Hanifa, Imam Shafi'i, Ahmad bin Hanbal, they had both of them. You passed. Now he had both of them. So that's where the Imams come in. Imams have both the text and the meaning. Now what happened after 14th century, that is 1st century, 2nd century, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th. You are sitting here 14. You only pass that one book to the brothers sitting there. Now after 14th century, some people or majority, they have access to the text now. They have the text and matan, but The meaning is left there. What Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam explained to the Sahaba Ikram, what the Sahaba Ikram explained to the Tabi'een and the Aimma. That's why they are known as Aimma Fiqh. What does fiqh mean? Fiqh means understanding. Understanding of what? Understanding of Quran and Hadith. Which understanding? Which the Prophet ﷺ gave, not your own. So here, that brother or that brother, you can pick up that book as well, you have. They have the text now. They say, wonderful, we have the text of Quran and Hadith. We know what to do. We know Arabic. So they read and they understand it. They come up with their own idea. That's how things are done. But we don't have that meaning. They don't have the meaning. They have only the text. Where is the meaning? If you ask them the sanad of the meaning or sanad of that hadith, they might not have. There is a sanad of the text, there is a sanad of the meaning which follows as well. So I am living in, for example, 14th century, a common person. I don't know about text of Quran in detail, the Sunnah, but I say, well, I am not knowledgeable. I should follow the text and what is the meaning of that. So I ask this brother, for example, this is sitting in the 2nd century, that please teach me what you have in that book, that meaning part of it. And I say, okay, I'll follow. So now you can see how close I am following Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because he is only in the 2nd century and he has the meaning as well. These people might claim, we have Quran, we have Hadith, but they have nothing in the sense, they don't have the meaning of it. They've lost the spirit of it. So they are going to read and they're going to make up their own meaning. That is how the sects come into existence in Islam. That is how लोग पूछते हैं ना फिरके किस तरह बनते हैं, इस तरह बनते हैं that they leave the meaning which the Sahaba Ikram, Ahl Bayt and Tabi'een had, and they follow the text and then they come up with their new beliefs and new ideas and new things, etc., etc. So this is the reality that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam conveyed the wahi and the meaning of that wahi as well. Because many times even the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam asked Sayyidina Jibreel alayhi salam, Jibreel, what does this mean? And Jibreel alayhi salam would go to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and ask. Hazur alayhi salam बाज़ मर्तबा सैयदना जिब्रील अलैहि सलाम से पूछते कि इस आयत का क्या मतलब है, अल्लाह पाक से पूछ के आए. उनको तो अरबी भी आती थी, वो तो नबी भी थे, वो भी रसूल भी थे और आखिरी नबी भी थे. उनसे बड़ा आलिम कोई नहीं, उनसे बड़ा आरिफ कोई नहीं, तो वो भी पूछ रहे हैं भाई मतलब इसका अल्लाह से कि क्या है, क्लैरिफिकेशन. और हम आज 2-4 लफ्ज़ अरबी के भी नहीं आते, ट्रांसलेशन पढ़ के कोई उर्दू में कोई, हर एक अपना अपना वो अगर बनेगा तो वो फिर कई ट्रुथ्स हो जाएंगी, कई हक कई हो जाएंगे और फिर कन्फ्यूजन हो जाएगी. और फिर दलील भी कोई नहीं. दलील क्या है? जी मैं फ़लाँ आयत में पढ़ा है, फ़लाँ हदीस में पढ़ा है. भाई वो हदीस तो कुरान, तो वो तो मतन है, आप वो मतलब कहाँ से ले रहे हो, मफ़हूम कहाँ से ले रहे हो, वो कैसे तुम कह सकते हो रसूलुल्लाह सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम से आ रहा है? तुम्हारा क्या तल्लक था नबी अलैहिस्सलाम? तुमने उनको देखा है, तुमने उनसे पढ़ा है, तुमने उनसे समझा है? नहीं, मैं तो बुकें पढ़ी हैं. अच्छा, तो फिर ऐसे बंदों के पास वो तो महफूज है कि जिन्होंने हजूर अलैहिस्सलाम से हासिल किया है, द सहाबा ताबईन, उनके पास था असल चीज़. Both things they had. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala preserved both things, the text and the meaning. Allah पाक ने इस किताब के दोनों चीज़ों को महफूज किया हुआ है, कुरान यानी मतन को भी और इसका जो मतलब है वो भी. कुरान तो आज हर अरे गैरे सब के पास है, काफिर के पास भी है, Hindu के पास भी है, Hindus have that Quran. Everyone has got access to that Quran and Hadith. They can go internet. लेकिन but the meaning, the true meaning which Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam transferred, only the Sahaba had and the Tabi'een had, and then Tabi'een passed to the other people, scholar, and the link. That's how the true meaning. That's why we follow the A'imma and Awliya Allah, because they are the link to the true meaning of the Quran and Sunnah. They are the true link of the true meaning. इसलिए जो है यानी सहाबा ताबईन का दर्जा है। हुजूर इस्लाम ने फरमाया सहाबी कन नजूम, मेरे सहाबा इकराम की मिसाल सितारों जैसी है। क्यों या रसूलुल्लाह सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम, ये तो आप तो कुरान और सुन्नत छोड़ गए, आप सहाबा का क्या रोल है? कुरान इज लाइक द बोट, कुरान एक कश्ती की मानद है, सुन्नत एक कश्ती की मानद है। And when you have a boat in the darkness of night in the sea, how are you going to know where you are going? Good and well you are in the boat, in the ship. आप रात को कश्ती के में सवार है। कुरान और सुन्नत की मिसाल तो कश्ती की है कि आप कश्ती में, the example of Quran, the text of Quran and Sunnah is like a boat. You are in the boat. But in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, how are you going to know where on earth you are going? Then you have to look at the stars, the moon. The stars are going to guide you then, that which direction you go. Otherwise, you'll have the boat, but you might end up in an island where you'll be eaten up by animals. So Prophet ﷺ ने फरमाया कि मैं कुरान छोड़े जा रहा हूँ, सुन्नत छोड़े जा रहा हूँ, अहले बैत किराम छोड़े जा रहा हूँ। Ahle Bayt, what does it mean, Ahlul Bayt? Ahlul Bayt mean the family of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam who preserved the meaning of the text of Quran and the Sunnah. So in the boat you need stars. The Prophet ﷺ said, "As-sahabi kan najum." My companions are like star. فَبِأَيِّهِمْ اُقْتَدَيْتُمْ اِهْتَدَيْتُمْ. Whichever you follow, you will succeed. So the real stars and the guiding stars are the companions. Why? Why can't the Quran be sufficient? Why can't the Quran be sufficient? Why can't the Sunnah and the Hadith be sufficient? The reason is, वजह उसकी ये है कि you will have text of Quran and Sunnah, but not the meaning, right meaning of Quran and Sunnah, which is coming from the Sahaba Ikram Rizwanul Alim Ajma'i, which is coming from their students and students and students. Have you ever thought about it, or are you just thinking, yes, I have Quran? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said about the Quran, yudillu bihi kaseera wa yahdi bihi kaseera. Through this Quran, a vast majority goes astray. Many people go astray by reading this Quran. وَيَهْدِي بِهِ كَثِيرًا. And many actually become guided through this Quran. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned that who is it in the further verses, who is it goes astray? गुमराह कौन होते हैं कुरान पढ़ के? कुरान तो बुक किताब हिदायत है, लेकिन अल्लाह पाक पहले सिपारे में खुद फरमा रहा है कि इस कुरान को पढ़ के कई लोग गुमराह हो जाते हैं और कई लोग हिदायत पा जाते हैं। उसका जवाब ये है कि वो गुमराह हो जाते हैं जो मतलब अपना निकालते हैं, वो नहीं लेते जो हुजूर अलैहिस्सलाम ने सहाबा को और समझाया और अहले बैत को, और वो हिदायत पा जाते हैं कि जो वो मतलब भी मफहूम भी वही ले लेते हैं जो अल्लाह पाक के नबी अलैहिस्सलाम ने समझाया, जिसके लिए वो आए थे समझाने के लिए। अगर कुरान और सुन्नत काफ़ी होता बाकी सिर्फ, तो फिर अल्लाह पाक एक किताब काबे पर नाजल कर देता, एक किताब हदीस की नाजल हो जाती, और बस फिर जो है ज़रूरत ही नहीं। फिर नबी की क्या ज़रूरत, सहाबा की क्या ज़रूरत। So the Quran says, "Yudillu bihi kaseeran wa yahdi bihi kaseera," that many go astray and many become guided. Who is the one who goes astray? Who has the text but not the meaning which this Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam explained to the Sahaba Ikram, to the Tabi'een and Aimma, and through the centuries it is coming to us with a strong sanad and link as well. And who go astray and who are guided. The people who go astray are those who have the text, the true text, but they don't have that meaning. They give their own meaning, their own understanding. So they are, in other words, trying to be a prophet. वो तो गोया नबूवत का एक रोल ले रहे हैं, ये तो नबूवत का रोल था. This was the role of prophethood to explain what the wahi means, what the sunnah means. It's not our role. It's not the role of the scholars. The scholars only transfer the text and the meaning which they got and received from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ulama का काम दीन को बनाना नहीं, दीन को बताना होता है. तो उलमा, तो जो बंदा इस रोल है कि मैं अब समझूंगा नए सिरे से, आई विल अंडरस्टैंड इन माई ओन वे, वो तो नबूवत का दावा कर रहा है गोया दबे लफ्जों में. He is as though actually trying to become a prophet or take a role on the prophet or nabi. क्योंकि अगर ऐसी ही बात थी, if that was the matter, then what was the need of a prophet? Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent Jibreel alayhi salam to take the book on the Kaaba and the book of Hadith, Sunnah, the saying of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam upon the Kaaba, and say to people, oh, the ummah of Rasulullah, follow it now, you will be on the right path. अब खुद सोचे तो सही ना जरा. Try to think that what was the need of the prophet. If the Quran and the text of Quran and Hadith is sufficient for you, then what is the need of the prophet? फिर वो नबी की क्या ज़रूरत थी भेजने की, फिर रसूल की क्या ज़रूरत थी? कि अगर सिर्फ कुरान और हदीस का मतन ही बंदे के लिए काफ़ी है. अल्लाह पाक ने नबी अलैहिस्सलाम को और अंबिया को भेजा ही इसलिए कि वो इनको मतलब समझाएं कि जब मैं सलात कहता हूँ कुरान में, तो सलात का माना ये है. Zakat, what does zakat mean? Zakat means grow. In Arabic it means growing. It also has a meaning of purification. ज़कात के ये मतलब है, इसका माना बढ़ना भी होता है और इसका मतलब सफाई भी होता है. अब आप अंदाज़ा समझ जाएं मुझे कि आपको कैसे पता चलेगा कि अल्लाह का जो मकसूद है ज़कात. when Allah Azza wa Jal used the word zakat in the Quran, wa aqimus salah wa atuz zakah, which kind of purification, which kind of growth is meant then? ये तो नबी अलैहिस्सलातु वस्सलाम ने आके समझाया that here it is meant the purification of the wealth. ये तो आप अलैहिस्सलाम ने समझाया आके, कुरान तो नहीं ये समझाता. कुरान तो उसूल बयान करता है कि इस प्यूरिफिकेशन, तज़किया से मुराद यहाँ माल का तज़किया है, पैसे का तज़किया है. And how does your money grow? That once you spend in the way of Allah and the ajr, the reward of it grows in akhirah, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also multiplies and gives to you in dunya as well. That's the meaning of the growth. तो दोनों मतलब आ गए उसमें. But no one could think that zakat means the zakat of mal and wealth. आज तो हम जो ही कहते हैं zakat, तो कहते हैं पैसे कितने देने हैं. लेकिन ये किसने समझाया? Who mentioned? Quran does never mention 2.5%. Quran तो कहता है कि जो भी whatever is beyond your need, spend in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Quran actually, that is a higher level. But the Quran, there is no verse in the Quran, entire Quran, which says you pay a portion 2.5% of your savings or anything like this. 2.5%. Quran never mentions कि रुकू सजदा किस तरह करना है, सना, सूरत फातिहा, you have to recite Surah Al-Fatiha, Ayat al-Kursi, or whatever the surah, anything like this. So remember the role of the prophethood. One of the wisdoms and one of the benefits of that is that the prophet comes to explain the Quran and explain what he says. He explains that as well. That is the hadith, he explains the hadith as well. The Sahaba Ikram Rizwanul Alayhim Ajma'in many times would ask Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, well, what Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam mean by that. For example, one of the verse of the Quran when was revealed, وَأْمُرْ بِالْعُرْفِ وَأَعْرِضْ عَنِ الْجَاهِلِينَ. Quran mein aaya, command the good and move away or overlook and disregard the ignorant people, meaning ignore them. وَأَعْرِضْ عَنِ الْجَاهِلِينَ وَأْمُرْ بِالْعُرْفِ وَأَعْرِضْ. So translation to yahi hai, that command the good, وَأَعْرِضْ عَنِ الْجَاهِلِينَ, and move away, disregard, overlook or ignore the people who don't have knowledge, jahilin. Now the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned to Sayyidina Jibreel alayhi salam, O Jibreel, ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that what is meant by this. हालांकि command तो clear है, हमारे जैसा होता तो हमें तो अरबी आती है, हम तो समझते हैं this means it's very straightforward. लेकिन ऐसी बात नहीं. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, whatever he spoke was also with the wahi of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So he wanted the meaning of this, what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah पाक ने जो फरमाया, नेकी का हुक्म करो और जाहिलों से एराज करो, जाहिलों से उलझो मत. इसका मतलब जो है नबी अलैहिस्सलातु वस्सलाम ने अल्लाह पाक से पूछा सैयदना जिब्रील अलैहिस्सलाम के ज़रिए. And Jibreel अलैहिस्सलाम came back and he said what it means is, Ya Rasulullah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, what it means is, sil man qata'aka ya Muhammad, join ties with the one who cuts ties with you. जो आपसे तल्लक तोड़े उसके साथ जोड़ो. हालांकि ये कुरान के लफ्जों में तो है ही नहीं है. Anyone who deprives you, जो आपको महरूम रखे उसको अता करें आप. Anyone who deprives you, you bestow blessings upon him. Anyone who wrongs you, forgive him. जो जुल्म करे उसको माफ करो. फरमाया ये अब ये आप खुद देखें कि कैसे ये मतलब निकलेगा उससे. So it is very important that you understand all this wisdom of sending the Anbiya alayhimus salam. And that is why the Ummah through 14 centuries, there have not been one century that they have not been following. The true scholars have always been, has followed actually the text of Quran and Sunnah and also the meaning. Imam Bukhari is a great muhaddis. Great muhaddis. He knows more hadith than anyone. At his time, he was a very scholarly person. But why did he go to Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal? To understand the meaning of hadith and Quran. He was his student. And Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal was the Imam of fiqh. He was also Imam of hadith as well. Imam of tafsir as well. And thing. लेकिन वहाँ वो क्यों गए? Imam Ghazali, Imam Nawawi, who written a book, Riyadus Salihin, and very famous books of hadith he's written. But why he went to Imam Shafi'i, rahimahullah, to understand the meaning of the ahadith, to understand, because they knew that these people are students and students of the companions. And as his blessed name came, let me enlighten you of a very important saying of Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal, the teacher of Imam Bukhari, the person who knew 1 million hadiths by heart. 1 million. आज किसी कंप्यूटर पे भी ahadith nahi hai. Although there are many books of hadith in the computer, but if you put all together, they don't come to 1 million. No computer has 1 million hadith today. No program has 1 million. He had in his mind 1 million hadith. And these are the imams of fiqh. Ye imams of fiqh jo hai, ye greatest muhaddisin, more higher than Imam Bukhari, more higher than Imam Muslim, Imam Tirmidhi. They came after. They are students. They are students of these great fuqaha and great imams. The 4 imams hain, imams of hadith are all their students in one way or the other. But they had something additional. They were muhaddis and faqih at the time. लेकिन उनकी खूबी ये थी कि वो मुहद्दिस भी थे और फकीह समझने वाले भी थे हदीस को. Or जो ahlul hadith, meaning people who expert in hadith, they were expert in the sanads, in the narration, but many of them were not fuqaha, so they followed the great imams of fiqh who had both things. They had the text and understanding. Some has one of the great saying of Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal, rahmahullah. I want to relate to you, not him, but also other great scholars have said. He said, different scholars of different mazahib, the people of Medina, at that time there was not 4 imams, there were tens of imams. They were big scholars in their own right. Imam Sufyan Thawri was a scholar of fiqh, a mujtahid, like Imam Malik, Imam Shafi, and others. Imam Ibrahim Nakhi, rahmahullah, he was imam of fiqh as well. But slowly, their followers are not found now. They're now only the followers actually are found in the 4 madhahib mostly. But Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal, rahmahullah, he said that any person in our times or our times after, he will get together some of the opinions of fatwas of different scholars to find ease, and that this is lawful, this is lawful. For example, maybe people of Medina, they, for example, are lenient on some matter. They say you can do it, it is okay for you. The imams of Iraq, for example, are strict on that. Imam Malik says, okay, he's strict on that, but he is lenient on others. For example, he give sahula, or actually it is their saying. So he said that whoever will get together all these rukhsas means where they have given very much flexibility and made matters lawful. So he said if someone was to actually pick up all these easy things which looks easy to the person, in that book he will gather evil. That book will be the book of evil, and he will go astray soon. He says follow the majority of the scholars, and one group which you follow, then stay with them. Don't follow them up to you think they suit you, and when they don't suit you, you pick up their one qawl of another scholar, one qawl of another scholar, one qawl of another scholar. He said if you gather these things, you will go astray, and you are a book of evil, you don't have a book of goodness. Ye kaun keh rahe? Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal rahmahullah. And that is why today sometimes people go here and there, and they find, oh, this imam says this, that person says this. There are scholars who say, for example, music is actually, you can listen to music, it is halal. It is opinion. Although very few scholars, 1, 2 scholars, but there is opinion. There is opinion. There are scholars, the imams who say, for example, you can come together with the women however you want, even in the wrong way, like Imam Ibn Hazm Undalasi, a great imam, a great scholar. That was his opinion regarding that matter, between husband and wife matter. He had a different opinion. The scholars, they will others say. So if you get aqwal like this together and you act upon it, Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal says that there is no doubt you go astray. So he said that follow whoever you are following, the scholars of imams of a particular area or whatever, of a school of thought, and fully follow them. Don't take the shaz, the rare opinion, the shaz and nawadir, the very rare opinions of this and this and this. The scholar, for example, now would say you can, if you are living in non-Muslim country, there's no interest. And for example, for you, you can take interest. The others, there are some places here, they say there's no Juma farz in non-Muslim country, though they don't read Friday prayer. So if you take opinions like this and make a deal, what will it come to? So these Ahlul Bayt Ikram and Sahaba Ikram, they were a mercy and guidance for the Ummah, that they derived the true meaning. They learned, they were the student. What was Rasulullah 23 years, what was he doing? He was teaching them the meaning of the Quran. The Quran to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent. There was no effort from anyone as such. Quran ki effort kya hua? Jibreel alayhi salam came and he gave verses and went back. Simple as that. So Rasulullah could give that in one go. It could have been revealed in one, but why? Little 2-3 verses were revealed, and then Rasulullah spent weeks explaining them. Then one surah will be revealed, and he will spend weeks and days explaining them. ये हिकमत ही एक ये है कि जो कुरान नाजिल हुआ दर्जा बदर्जा कि चंद आयतें आती, फिर आप अलैहिस्सलाम कई हफ्ते उनका मतलब समझाते सहाबा इकराम को, और सहाबा इकराम अमल करके दिखाते, फिर आप अलैहिस्सलाम उनकी दुरुस्तगी फरमाते, तो तब जाके फिर कुछ एक सूरत उतरती, फिर कई महीने उसका मतलब फिर समझाते, फिर कई 2-3 आयतें उतरती, फिर यही तो ये इतने इम्पोर्टेंट चीज़ है. मैं आप समझते हाँ मैं कुरान उठाया तो वो पढ़ यानी समझ लिया, ऐसी बात नहीं है. There are verses of Quran which everyone can understand. हर कोई समझ सकता है. Like about akhirah, about day of judgment, about death, about dunya, the stories of the prophets, etc., etc. Those can be understood by everyone, and everyone can read and benefit. But when it comes to law, regulations, the rules, ahkam, do's and don'ts, the law, then only qualified scholars, they actually they have the ability to actually interpret or actually mention them. The Prophet ﷺ said, anyone who interprets this Quran with his own opinion, he will be sinful even though he has arrived on the true conclusion. आप अलैहिस्सलाम ने फरमाया कि जो कुरान पढ़ के अपनी मर्जी का अपने जहन का मतलब बनाएगा, चाहे वो सही भी हो फिर भी वो गुनाहगार है. And he said that a qualified scholar, an alim, a proper person, if he derives the meaning and he reaches a wrong conclusion, still he will be rewarded. और जो आलिम यानी उस काबिल है, उसने वो 12-14 मुख्तलिफ साइंसें पढ़ी हुई हैं, तो वो फरमाया कि जो अपना इज्तिहाद करेगा, तो अगर वो उसमें गलती भी कर गया तो उसको अल्लाह पाक अजर देगा उसकी नीयत के मुताबिक. So it is very, very dangerous in that regard. So that is, I wanted to mention to you about the truth, जहाँ से हमने शुरू किया कि हक जो है वो एक है. And when different minds come, they have different understanding, they become confused. So the truth Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed in the Quran, you should have peace of mind that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed the truth in the Quran. That's the absolute truth. It is like someone said to a scholar who did a PhD, she was a lady, and someone said to her that you have so highly intellectual person, highly intelligent person, your IQ is so high, but you are covering yourself, you are wearing scarf. This does not suit you, such an intellectual person as yourself, or such a high caliber person. He won, meaning one of the few highest ranking people, IQ level, intelligent in the world. But she used to wear a scarf, and the people, the journalists, they asked her that this does not suit you because you have such a high level IQ, because she's shown through research and PhD and postdoctorate, and even above them she reached. But they thought that this is looking a little bit odd, because this is the mind, that's what they think. That's what modernism. She said that, let me answer you, modernism, that when human beings were living in Stone Age and ignorant age, Stone Age and Bronze Age, they were not wearing clothes at all. As their mind slowly developed, they started covering. Firstly, they were not wearing, people who, as you see, read in the history, after, in those ages of ignorance, Bronze Age, of humanity, civilization in Europe or wherever, कपड़े नहीं पहनते थे, क्योंकि वो पत्थर के ज़माने के इंसान थे, तो वो नंगे फिरते थे. तो आहिस्ता आहिस्ता जो शऊर आना शुरू हुआ, तो उन्होंने कहा ये कोई कपड़े पहनने चाहिए, that we should wear some clothes. So they started wearing clothes. And she said, now what I am wearing is the peak of civilization and the peak of intellect of human beings. उन्होंने कहा आज जितना मैंने कवर किया हुआ है, ये चीज़ बता रही है कि कवर करते पहले उन्होंने सतर कवर किया, फिर जिस्म, तो जो मैंने बाल वगैरह कवर किए हैं, ये तो बता रहा है कि मैं I am at the end, at the apex of intelligence and human civilization, how it should be. और जो आप कह रहे हो, what you are saying is that I should not be, I should be revealing, you are taking us back to the Stone Age. They were more advanced. If that is advancement, to reveal your bodies and wear less than people living in those primitive times, and they were more advanced. You are taking us back to Stone Age, I am taking you further. But anyway, she said something actually according to their level, but the thing is, because the Quran reveals this truth that you should wear this, so it's absolute truth, it's the height anyone can reach. So alhamdulillah, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam also as the best, who had the best intellect, who has the best wisdom and the best character. Even Muslim, non-Muslim, whole of the world, actually, it is a witness to his family, the people of that time, even those enemies who were living at his time as well, they also witnessed. But inshallah, tomorrow what I would like to go through with you is the verse of Quran which says, in Surah Al-Fatiha, you see there is a small last verse, Sirat al-ladina an'amta alayhim, path of those who you have favored. غَيْرِ الْمَغْضُوبِ عَلَيْهِمْ وَلَا الضَّالِّينَ, not the path of those who has deserved or who has earned your wrath and anger, and not of those also who have gone astray. कि बंदा सूरत फातिहा के आखिर में क्या मांग रहा है कि या अल्लाह उन लोगों के रास्ते पे चलाना जिन पर तेरा इनाम हुआ, ना कि उन रास्ते पर जिन पर तेरा गज़ब नाज़ल हुआ और जो गुमराह हुए. तो इसका मतलब ये है कि अल्लाह सुब्हानहू व तआला wants us to follow the path of the favored people and not to follow the path of the people who earned wrath, who were maghdub alayhi, or who went astray. So I wanted you to share with yourself that is the path which leads to hell. The path of maghdubi alayhim is a path to hell. The path of walad dwalin, people who go astray, jo gumrah ho gaye, wo jahannam ka rasta hai. Maghdubi alayhim, wo bhi jahannam ka rasta hai. तो ताकि सिराते मुस्तकीम तो आपको मैंने बताया था, आप फिर भी बताएंगे, लेकिन इसका जानना भी ज़रूरी है कि वो जो जहन्नम की तरफ रास्ता जाता है वो कौन सा रास्ता है. व्हाट इज़ द पाथ विच लीड्स वन टू हेल फायर. तो आप ये अभी इंशाल्लाह आपको दिखाते हैं. ये तो दूसरी बात है. अस्तग़फिरुल्लाह अज़ीम. बिस्मिल्लाह. ये देखिए, like there is mountain diagram for Sirat Mustaqim, which I mentioned to you last time. Inshallah, this time we'll mention to you as well. For those people who were not here last time, they should go through by themselves as well, through the brothers. But this is the path to self-destruction and the wrath of Allah. ये एक पूरा सफ़र है. This is a whole journey that how does a person reach? It does not happen that instantly a person reaches actually the hell or anything. For many, it is a gradual process. And how does that happen? ये किस तरह होता है? There is a way you have to recognize, you have to know, because you know, then you know that you are going towards that path. You are actually on the way to there, so you can stop. It's like cancer. Cancer does not happen. The end result of cancer is like a death, for example. So let's say end result is hell. Cancer does not happen instantly and then you are finished. Cancerous cells first appear. If the signs appear, if you treat, they're easily treatable. Then it has stages. The first stage, then it can be treated. Second stage, third stage. Once it reaches the last stage, fourth stage, it is very difficult. It's almost impossible. Then the person just have to wait actually that when his time ends. Similar, the sin and the ghadab of Allah is the cancer of the spirit and soul. जिस तरह जिस्म का कैंसर है, इसी तरह रूह का भी कैंसर है. The रूह has a cancer, and the cancer of the रूह is sins and the ghadab of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So firstly, I would like to show you that how does a person reach there, for example. The end is here. So going from here to there. But here is the person, he's pious, he is not bad person, he says, I'm not so bad. But what are the first things? What are the things which build the want in him to rebel against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? So that you can recognize the signs. Firstly, this is one reason. You see, these are shown, the stones. Slowly, if you step on these stones, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then on this one, then on this one, then on this one, then on this one, then you end up here. And then you end up actually on the bridge. And then you end up actually in the ghadab and of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But where does it begin from? It begins from baby steps. If you want to go towards right path, you can begin from baby steps. If you are going towards, normally shaitan takes you through baby steps there. That's the shaitan's ideology. And it is effective that you want to bring a change, bring it gradual. If you want to bring change for good, bring it a gradual change. So, first thing, for example, it says there, forgetful of creator, death, and hereafter. पहली चीज जो है वो गफलत होती है. If someone is most of the time forgetful of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is with me, watching me, he's as though he will act upon it, he will act and he will live his life as though there is no Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's the result. It's as though there is no Allah Azza wa Jal subhanahu wa ta'ala, does not exist, because for him, he is forgetful. Because once you are forgetful, as though you've died from the presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Like you heard the story of Sayyidina Bahauddin Zakaria, one of the great wali, passed, buried in Multan in Pakistan currently. Bahauddin Zakaria Multani Sohrawardi Rahimahullah was the direct student of Shaykh Shahabuddin Sohrawardi, the founder of the Tariqa Sohrawardiya. And Shaykh Shahabuddin Sohrawardi is direct student of Sayyidina Abdul Qadir Jailani Rahimahullah. So he is that one link between him and Sayyidina Abdul. So he is a very high ranking wali who was sent to India in those times, in 6th century, 7th century. Sayyidina Bahauddin, and he spread Islam in area of Pakistan, India, in Malaysia, Indonesia, and all these areas. He sent missionaries and actually stood for dawah. Such a great wali. But he lived in the city of Multan, and Khaja Khairuddin Awliya, who was buried there in Gujarat, Khariya, in the village which I belong to, he was his student. He was his student. His student of Hazrat Bahauddin Zakaria Rahimahullah. So some scholars from Afghanistan, pious people, they had this desire to meet this wali in Multan, in Pakistan. So they came from there, and one of those people were the person of Kashf. Person of Kashf means Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala unveils certain things. They can see certain things which others can't. For example, they might be able to speak to animals. This is mujizat and karamats of Anbiya and Awliya. Like Hazrat Sulaiman Islam spoke to the bird, Hudhud. Hudhud. Faqala Malik. So one of them was a person of her. So whilst they were in the way, very near Pakistan, they heard one of the birds saying, one of them heard that Bahauddin has died. So he said to the others, his fellow other scholars and other, actually, he said, well, I think we should go back. I have knowledge that they have died and they passed away. तो उस जो साहिब कश्फ था, उसने परिंदों को बात करते सुना कि परिंदे भी अल्लाह के वलियों को, अल्लाह के दुश्मनों को जानते हैं. क्या अबाबील हर अबरहा को नहीं जानती थी, और हज़रत अब्दुल मुत्तलिब को भी जानती थी ये कौन है. उसने हज़रत अब्दुल मुत्तलिब पर तो पत्थर नहीं बरसाया, और रसूल अल्लाह सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम की वालदा भी थी वहाँ, सईदा आमिना भी उधर थे. So Ababil and the angel, the birds, they recognize the enemies of Allah and the friends of Allah. The animal kingdom, even the plants, even the trees, even the stones. So that birds were talking, and this one, he heard from them that Bahauddin has passed away. So he mentioned to the others, उसने दूसरों को बताया कि वो तो पर्दा फरमा गए, वफात हो गई उनकी, आप वापस चले, आप सफ़र ही है. The others said, we came so far away, even if he has passed away, we will visit his grave, we'll pray for him, he was a pious man, righteous man, that's why we were coming. हम उसकी जाके चलो फातिहा पढ़ेंगे, दुआ करेंगे, कब्र की ज़ियारत करेंगे, अगर और कुछ नहीं. It's okay, let's go. They went there, and when they reached the Khanqah, the Zawiya of Hazrat Bahauddin Zakaria, they saw him, he was teaching hadith there. They were surprised. Those others were surprised. They were looking at that person. So that is why it is said that a person who see visions and dreams and things, they should not interpret themselves. Sometimes what they are seeing is right thing, is truth. What they are hearing is truth, but they don't know the meaning of it. So this was a person of Kashf, but he did not interpret it correctly. So he interpreted himself. He said, oh, the Bahauddin has died. Finished. But dreams, Kashf, Mukashifat, they have meanings, unveiling. So a person should not take them literally and confirm with one's mashayikh or the people of that field. People who do not know that field, don't ask them. They don't know anything about themselves. They might be big scholar that you say, I've seen, let's say someone have never seen a dream, and someone see, and you go to that I've seen such a dream. He said, well, how did you see that? And we will be questioning your dream. Well, how can you see that? So how will we interpret? So a person who's not the field of kashf or field of fath, if you don't ask a scholar, he will say, how did this happen to you? He is interested himself. So how is it? So don't ask him, because when he doesn't know. Ask the people who are already in that field. So this person didn't ask, he just mentioned to his fellow, because they were maybe all like seekers and scholars. So when they saw this person giving dars and teaching, they looked at him, what he has said. And Hazrat Bahauddin Zakaria rahmatullah alayhi, he figured out why they are looking at him. He is a wali, a Sahib Kashf wali as well. He said to them, what this person has said is truth. But they said, we are seeing you live teaching. How can that be truth? We are seeing you that you are living, and he's saying you passed away, died, and the bird said you died, and now you are teaching and living. So how is that? He said, really, what happened was, there was a moment in my life now when I was unaware, I was in ghafla and absent from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's presence and remembrance. An announcement was made in the creation that Bahauddin has died. As far as the animal kingdom, the creation of ghaib is concerned, that is death for them. When a person forgets Allah and when a person is absent from Allah, that is death. In a hadith of Sahih Bukhari, if you open the chapter of zikr, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, the example of a person who remembers Allah and a person who does not remember Allah is like living and dead person. Living a dead person. Hazur al-Islam ने फरमाया, इमाम बुखारी ने रवायत किया कि उसकी मिसाल कि जो अल्लाह का जिक्र करता है और जो अल्लाह से गाफिल रहता है, मिसाल मुर्दा जिंदा और मुर्दे की है. वो गोया जिंदा है, अल्लाह उसको जिंदा समझता है, ये बंदा जिंदा है, और वो मुर्दा है कि जो अल्लाह से गाफिल हो गया. That is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said about these people in the Quran, lahum qulubul la yafqahuna biha, they have hearts but no understanding. Walahum azanul la yasma'una biha, they have ears but no, they don't hear. Walahum ayunul la yubsiruna biha, they have eyes but they don't see. Meaning they are seeing these things, but the truth is veiled from them. The truth is covered. तो हज़रत बहाउद्दीन ज़करिया रहमतुल्लाह ने फरमाया कि इसने जो कहा है, परिंदों ने जो कहा है, सच कहा है कि मैं मर गया इसलिए कि मैं चंद लम्हे अल्लाह से गाफिल हो गया था. तो मखलूक में ऐलान कर दिया कि बहाउद्दीन दुनिया से वो मर गया है, वो फोत हो गया है, पर्दा कर गए वो. तो अब मैं वापस, then I actually came back, actually meaning I turned to Allah, I repented, I came back, that I shouldn't be ghafil. So what this person is saying, truth, but in actual fact it has interpretation. उसका मतलब ये है कि वो अल्लाह की याद से मर गए, अल्लाह की याद से जो है वो गायब हो गए. So ghafla is a very, very, very dangerous thing. The first thing which happens to a person is this thing actually. Forgetful of Creator, death and hereafter. तीन चीज़ों से गाफिल रहना ये पहला कदम है कि आप गुमराह होने के रास्ते पे चल पड़े. You are on the beginning of the path to destruction. It's as though conception have begun. जैसे हमल ठहर जाता है रहम में. In the womb, the conception begins, and first thing actually to go into the shaitanic world and the path to hell and destruction and wrath of Allah is forgetting the presence of Creator, then also your end, which is death, and hereafter what's going to happen after. तो ये एक कदम है. So whenever you think your life is like that or is started happening, know that this is like a alarm, this is like danger zone, this is alarm bell which should ring in your mind that I am going to, sooner or later I will be on the path to hell. Other is following the crowd, however people are doing, whatever people are doing, following the majority no matter what they are doing, wrong things. Because the majority mostly stays on the wrong path. In the sense they are following shaitanic ways and other ways. And if you have this mentality, I should follow what the society is doing, you are on a path to this, because they are going towards the well of hell. वो तो जहन्नम के कुएं की तरफ जा रहे हैं, बेशक अक्सरियत ही है. लेकिन अगर आप भी मसला आप कहेंगे आप आज तो सारे लोग शराब पीते हैं, आज जी आप तो बहुत सारे लोग जिना करते हैं, अब जी बहुत सारे लोग, many people are doing this, many people are not praying, many people are actually doing wrong thing, they have haram source of, who is doing parda, hijab, who is following sunnah, many. Yes, that is true. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that there will be one group of people who will remain on truth until day of judgment. He didn't say majority will remain on truth. One group there will be, a minority. So if you look at your house, you will see what the majority is doing. If you look in a locality, you will see what the majority is doing. So if you follow my friends are doing this, this are doing this, you want to follow the crowd, then you are on the path to hell. It's the beginning part. Soon you will follow them, slowly they will take you there as well. You should be like lion. Lion alone has his own way. He doesn't follow the sheep. Sheep is 1,000 sheep going this way. Lion doesn't say, okay, 1,000 are going that way, I'll go that way as well. But if it is a sheep, if it is a goat and sheep, it will follow the crowd. तो आप बकरी भेड़ मत बनो, आप इंसान हो, शेर हो मखलूक में, कि भाई भेड़ बकरियों की तरह भेड़ बकरियों के पीछे चलना, बल्कि शेर अकेला भी जिधर समझता है वो उधर जाता है. It doesn't matter majority. He alone is more valuable than actually the goats and sheep. He has the dignity, the honor, the kingship and thing. So a mu'min, a believer, a follower of ummati of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is like he alone is more honorable than the entire people if they are gone astray. इसी तरह चांद है, सूरज है, सितारे कितने हैं? How many stars there are? Millions and billions. लेकिन सितारे ये ख्वाहिश करें कि The Suraj, the sun is one, it's also one star, but I'm just explaining how it looks from the earth. Just to explain an example. The sun never desires that I should also become star, because I am alone, one, and the stars are millions, and I want to also become like that. Because the alone sun is dominant on whole of the, when he alone comes out, no star can be seen. इसी तरह अल्लाह का जो वली नेक बंदा वो एक भी हो, वो मिलियंस अल्लाह पाक को वो नजर ही, अल्लाह पाक देखना ही नहीं चाहता उनको. He is the one who is being looked at. He is the one who angels. And especially you are never in minority as in actual fact. You are never in minority really, but maybe from human being point of view you are in minority, but you, a pious person, is always in majority. How? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said about Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then people were not helping him, they were munafiqeen, were saying certain things. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ مَوْلَاهُ, Allah is with you and your helper and your friend. So if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is with you, how can you be in minority as such? When the King of Kings, you are in the with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam is with you, what difference does it make? Actually, on the other side, there are 1 billion people or 1 trillion or the entire creation. He is with you, He is with you. All Anbiya alayhimus salam are on this path of truth and Sirat-e Mustaqim. فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ مَوْلَاهُ وَجِبْرِيلُ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, angels like Jibreel are with you. They are in your favor. Not only Jibreel, Mikail, Israfil, Sayyidina Israel alayhi salam, the millions and billions and trillions angels of the earth, the angels of the first heaven, the angels of the second heaven, the angels of the third, the angels of the fourth, the angels of the fifth heaven, the angels of the sixth and the seventh sky, the angels who are bearing the throne bearers, इतने बड़े फरिश्ते जो अर्श को उठाए हुए हैं, the angels of the जन्नत, वो सारे आपके साथ, आप कैसे minority में हैं? In reality, فإن الله मौला, अल्लाह आपका मददगार है, दोस्त है. वजिब्रील, जिब्रील, and meaning the old angel. والصالحين, and awliya Allah of the time and awliya Allah of the past, they are on your side. وَالْمَلَائِكَةُ بَعْدَ ذَلِكَ ظَهِيرٌ, and then the general angels are also with you. So if the human being total population is 6-7 billion, only angels on the earth are more than them. Only earthly angels are more, billions, trillions, you can't count them. Let aside then, so Allah is on your side, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Anbiya, Awliya, Siddiqeen, the 124,000 less or more Sahaba Ikram, Anbiya alayhim salam, the Malaika, the pious and righteous. So you should never feel alone, although in the test you are alone because you are being tested amongst human beings. These 6 billion, 5 billion kuffar or whatever they are, they're still less, they're still in minority compared to the real, when real comparison is done. So following the crowd is not the best option. Follow what is truth, not the, actually what's the crowd we need most of. If you want to follow the crowd of the pious. Follow the crowd of awliya and crowd of the pious and righteous people, rather than the crowd of evil people who don't know themselves what they are doing, where they are going. They're just like, as I say, sheep and goat, because the first one is going somewhere, they are going back. They don't know where they're ending up. Until they fall, then they will say to each other, oh, what's happened? Third thing, false ideals and role models. This is also beginning of one's misguidance. Beginning of misguidance. Beginning of astrayness. Because once you say, okay, that political leader, he is my role model, he is my everything, then you will try to mold and adapt yourself to him. That football player, that cricket player, he is my role model, then you are going to follow. Your clothes are going to be in the same color. Your hairstyle, your way of walking might actually follow him. Because once you made something your model, a target, then you are going to follow them in one way or the others. So false ideals, that rich person, billionaire, he is my role model. You will never become, he'll always be your model, but never actually. Like you have a tiny car, it will always be with you that. But you'll never attain. So if you make a rich person, if you want to make a rich person your ideal, good and well. Sayyidina Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anhu was a very rich person. Sayyidina Usman ibn Affan was a rich person. Physically as well. Hazrat Usman radiallahu anhu was such a rich and he was such a ghani, he is known as a ghani, and a person who used to spend in the way of Allah, that his account and his wealth still exists in Saudi Arabia. There is a name on his account, Hazrat Usman ibn Affan still exists. And it has money and it's spent on the poor. Still it exists. Abhi tak wo unka naam ka account hai aur wo ye account bhi hai wo chal raha hai, because where the well which he bought for Muslims and then actually it was given as a sadaqah, it stayed in his name all the time until the Saudi government, they came, they also preserved it, and there is about 1,500 trees around it, and it actually bears fruits and other things but when they came in the kingdom, it was registered on his name because no one changed his name. So they were earning money from it, and from money they actually constructed 1-2 buildings in that area, and the other area is safe and still, and the income which comes from it is hundreds and thousands of actually riyals, and it's deposited in his account, and half of it is spent on the poor and half actually for other construction and things, that still his account is running. Can you imagine 14 centuries ago? कि आज भी आपके नाम का अकाउंट, आपने जो सदका खैरात जो एरिया किया था वो आज भी उधर है, और उसका वो सदका जारिया है. That is true सदका जारिया. सदका is continuing. अल्लाह सुब्हानहू व तआला लाइक चीज़ अमल. ये तो आप जी की मिसाल बता रहा हूँ, अभी भी वो ऐसे ही हो रहा है. उनका नाम का बैंक अकाउंट एक्चुअली इन्होंने भी, वहाँ उनके पैसे डिपॉजिट होते हैं इसलिए, एंड इट इज़ वक़फ़, मीनिंग एक्चुअली फॉर द पोर. So if you want to follow rich people, follow him. If you want to follow rich people of our time, तो ये अभी पिछले हफ्ते में one Saudi prince, he gave all his wealth 32 billion to the poor, तो उसको फॉलो कर लो. आपने उन्हीं को फॉलो करना है जो सांप बन के अपनी दौलत पे बैठे हुए हैं. So that means actually that you are not after wealth, but there is something wrong in you. Actually, that if you want to follow rich people, there are rich people to follow. चलो मुसलमानों को नहीं, काफरों को देख लो. There are 1 or 2 rich people in America who donated billions of pounds, 90% or someone 100% of their wealth to the poor. अगर अमीरों को ही फॉलो करना है तो फिर भी अच्छे लोग जो अमीर हैं, the good people who are rich, उनको फॉलो करो. So, but if you make false ideals and role models which are just looting people of their money, जैसे हमारे मुल्कों के हुक्मरान हैं, वो अपनी जेबें, अपने अकाउंट अपने भर रहे हैं, they are not the false, they are not the true ideal. If you will make their ideal, you will also become corrupt. Imam Abdul Wahab Sharani Shazali rahimahullah, he used to live in Egypt. the country Egypt. He didn't participate, he didn't like these people who were looting and the people who were in the government and not doing justice, rather doing zulm to people, and let aside seeking kingdom or seeking photographs with them or in any honor. From his home and to his Zawiya, there was two paths. There was two ways. One was about, it took him like 500 yards, and the other took about 3 kilometers. The one which was, let's say, 500 meters, he had to pass under the shade of the palace of the king. And the one which, if he did not want to go there, then he had to go 2.5 kilometers. He was such a person of taqwa, he said, I even do not want to walk in the shade of the palaces of these people who are oppressing people. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala might punish me that I've taken some benefit from them. I don't want to stand in the shade or even go under their palaces. So he took the long route all the time. He spent 1 to 2 kilometers walking to his mosque and place. So, awliya Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they are far from actually these worldly. So, don't make false, if you make false ideals and role models, they are going to pull you. The role model always pull you. You always want to follow them. Inshallah, there are a few more, and inshallah, then I'll mention about the journey, about this mountain, this bridge, and this mountain after. But for now, inshallah, we finish here. If anyone has any question related to what I have said, only related to what I have said. General question, you get opportunity after Fajr. सुबह की नमाज के बाद होता है आम सवाल कोई करना जो भी. लेकिन अब जो है जितनी बातें मैंने कही हैं, उनके मुतल्लिक आपने कुछ पूछना है तो पूछ लें.
Assalamu alaikum. So you mentioned about Sayyidina Bahuddin Zakaria, how he went into that state of ghaflat just for a moment. But we obviously are in a state of ghaflat majority of the time. How can we be in the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in our daily lives, even when we're doing business, working, and dealing with other customers and business people? Jazakallah.
The thing is that firstly you should know you can do that. How? Because there are two states. States of ghafla and state of presence. Either state of ghafla means presence with dunya and things, and the other. So there are two states. So when there are two states, this means if you can be in state of ghafla, you have the ability to be in state of presence as well. First of all, you should believe this. You should meaning satisfy intellectually, otherwise it is possible, because if I can stay in the state of ghafla, I can stay also in that state, which means if I am in a state of ghafla from Allah and present with dunya, I can have the opposite state, ghafla from dunya and present with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala majority of the time. So how you do that? That's what I have explaining. Firstly, the pivotal thing is obviously these three thoughts, that Allah is with me, watching me, hearing me. The more you remind yourself of these three thoughts, Allah is with me, watching me, hearing me, the more you get this state. But that's just general matter. But in actual fact, all of the worships of Islam, they are geared towards creating this quality in you. It is not like you adopt it today, you will get it tomorrow. The salah, for example, first and foremost, if you want state of presence, you are saying that you want to be in state of presence once you are shopping, when you are with the family. I would say, firstly, see that if you are in state of presence in salah or not. Because salah is about 1 hour in 24 hours. 5 salah is 1 hour, and other 23. So you are saying, I want to be in state of presence in 23 hours. I say, try to be in state of presence firstly for 1 hour, and once you have that control over 1 hour, you can spread to 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours in this. So firstly, the khashu, that's why the presence in salah with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you cannot do in those 10 minutes, you won't be able. Now there's no tomatoes or fruit or business in front of you. It's a mosque. It's the place. You are reading something. Other people are reading something. You are not. So if you cannot be present in this time, then actually you should forget about when you are shopping and buying tomatoes or something, that you will be in the presence. Because if you have, so firstly, once you master this, then this skill can be transferred to other areas. That's why even in salah we take that into stages. That firstly, even people can't, let's say shopping, people can't be present with Allah while praying. I say to these people, shopping karna, the path of awliya Allah to both badi regarding whilst doing business, they are in the presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I say first focus, can you be present in 10 minutes of salah or not? First work on that. And there is even grades to do that. Jo 10 levels, spiritual levels of prayers. Ki firstly, just think about Allah once in every posture, qiyam, ruku. After me, when the lessons finish, you can sit with the brothers. They can teach you this, how to develop that khashu or that presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala there. So I think people are struggling today even to be present with Allah in salah and in dhikr and in taraweeh. Shopping, family comes second time, meaning it is secondary nature. There's a lot of distraction. But firstly, they master this path, and then, inshallah, they can spread that light to others. There was people like Imam Abdul Wahab Sharani, rahmahullah, he said that there are people of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who are present with Allah, they remember Allah, they don't forget Allah when they are most close and intimate relationship with their wives. Awliya Allah are not absent from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Meaning that state comes so much strong. हम तो नमाज में भी गाफिल हो जाते हैं, खाने पीने के वक़्त भी. फरमाया जो वली हैं, औलिया अल्लाह हैं, वो जब मियाँ बीवी के जो ख़ास तल्लक़ात होते हैं, उस हालत, फरमाया वली नहीं बन सकता जब तक कि उस हालत में भी वो अल्लाह के साथ हजूरी में ना हो. So first he said a wali cannot be a wali until he is present with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, even in state of actually that sleeping with the wife. वो जो दुआ उस वक़्त पड़ी जाती है, वो इसीलिए है ना कि अल्लाह याद आए. And to the and Sayyidina Abdul Aziz the Baw, now this is something very deep and subtle. Someone asked him a question that how does the wali knows that sometimes he was mentioned that the person have not done ghusl. He's in state of janaba. Sayyid Ahmad Mubarak said, how does a wali or some people they know, awliya Allah, that person need a ghusl, he is not in state of purity. Sayyidina Abdul Aziz Dabagh said the reason is that there are angels with the person who when he is in state of janaba, they leave that person. They leave that person. And when the wali sees that the angels are not around him, he knows that he is in a state of impurity. And then he said the real reason, now don't be confused by this, as I said, it is a deep thing. The real reason, the hikmah, when a person is having sexual intimacy and ghusl becomes farz, he said the ghusl actually becomes fard, a wajib, because of the real reason is not coming out something coming out of your private parts. Otherwise, urine comes out a lot. So why wouldn't ghusl be farz at that time? आप सोचें ना, पेशाब तो बहुत ज़्यादा निकलता है, तो गुस्ल तो उससे फ़र्ज होना चाहिए, इतना ज़्यादा पेशाब अपना निकला है. So it's not about that how much filth or dirt comes out of your pride. इसके तो गुस्ल फ़र्ज नहीं होता, वुज़ू होता है. तो उसके जब when the person actually the ghusl becomes farz when there is the release of semen. तो semen अगर नापाक है तो पेशाब भी नापाक है. But rather according to Imam Shafi'i, कई फ़िक़ा में वो semen नापाक ही नहीं है. There is a difference of opinion about that. But there is no difference of opinion regarding urine. वो सब भी मानते हैं कि वो this is नापाक. No, Sayyidina Abdul Aziz Dabbaw said the reason why the ghusl become farz, the real reason he said the behind is that in that state a person completely become absorbed in pleasure and forgetful of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is the state when he's completely as though dies from the presence of Allah totally, and that ghafla brings the ghusl fard upon the person. And because he said the majority, through majority this happens and this actually, and he said that's why the ulama have said that if you have done a sin or whatever, any bad sin, you do ghusl or wudu, because anything which gives you ghafla, in awliya Allah will consider they do ghusl. In anywhere, anytime they are in ghafla or in a state of sinfulness, they go and bad sin happen, they do. But other ulama say, because to make it easy for us, is mustahab, wuzu kar le, wuzu karke, wuzu kare, it purifies you to some. This is recommendatory nature for other, for if you are doing salatul tawbah or anything, it is recommendatory nature. But awliya Allah consider it necessary for them, because if it is actually that is meaning spiritually. And then Sayyid Ahmad Mubarak said that if that is true how you are saying, then any person who can be in present with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at that moment, then ghusl should not be fard on that person. सईद अहमद मुबारक ने फरमाया कि आप ये कह रहे हैं कि बंदा अल्लाह से उस वक़्त उस हालत में बिल्कुल गाफिल हो जाता है तब वो गुस्ल फ़र्ज़ होता है. तो इसका तो मतलब ये है कि अगर कोई बंदा उस वक़्त भी अल्लाह को याद रखे, गाफिल ना हो, तो उस पर गुस्ल ही फ़र्ज़ ना हो. You see, this is the question and answer. That's why the Mashayikh of Tariqa Muhammadiyah are wonderful people. They answer question, they don't mind useful actually question, and alhamdulillah they explain things. Especially Sayyidina Abdul Aziz Dabbaw is a person who've never studied, and he answers and he benefits the scholars of the time, the mujtahideen. So Sayyidi Abdul Aziz Dabbaw said, you are right, but the rule and law is always made considering the majority. आपने फरमाया तुम्हारी बात सही है कि भाई उस पर गफलत नहीं तो गुस्ल, लेकिन जो कानून शरीयत का बनाया जाता है वो majority को देख के बनाया जाता है. Majority becomes ghafil, so the law is made, the rule is made, so that wali have to follow it as well, to respect and honor Sharia. तो ये इसी तरह है कि it is like there are many people who will go through red traffic lights and there won't be any accident. They are so wise people. जैसे या कोई बड़ा बंदे हैं, prime minister है, other है, police officer, the traffic officer himself, he knows about traffic and traffic lights. He can well manage go through in the middle of the night, 1, 2 o'clock when there's no road, and they can go through that. They're safe. You can't see cars miles and miles, anything coming. So you are well safe. But if they go through that, and if there's a camera there, it's going to flash. And if a police officer says you are booked, you might as well say, well, I wasn't harming anyone. There was no car in 1 mile actually radius around here. Why are you booking me? I've not harmed anyone. He will say, you've broken the rule, because if this rule is made considering the majority, because okay, maybe one person can go through safely, the lady might come, everyone think they are the greatest wise people on earth. कोई भी ये नहीं कहता मैं बेवकूफ़ हूँ, हर यही समझता है कि मैं अक्ल कुल हूँ और मैं ही सबसे अक्लमंद हूँ, तो सारे कहेंगे मैं भी अक्लमंद हूँ, मेरा दिमाग फिरा हुआ है, मैं क्यों एक्सीडेंट करूँगा, but actually then there will be chaos. So the rule, जो कानून बनाया जाता है वो majority को देख के बनाया जाता है, not the minority as such. There are always exceptions. For example, there are areas on the earth, face of the earth, which don't have day and night. 3 months day, 3 months night. Now, but the normal rule of prayers and salah and fasting is made looking at the majority areas of the earth. उनके मुताबिक ज़ोहर है, असर है, मगरिब है, इशा है. There are always exception. They will have a long day of 2 months. The sun never sets. तो वहाँ वो फिर क्या करते हैं? They have to estimate and follow the closer country which have normal sunrise and sun setting, and they. तो ये बात है.
Assalamu alaikum, Hussein. Bismillah. Basically, you actually stated earlier on, which is the truth in life, which I'm very, I want to know about this, and I want the whole universe to know about this as well, with respect. And surely a lot of people are watching, inshallah. And to my best knowledge, I'm going to ask the question. Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen. Now, what it is, you said about the Bible and the Quran. Now, it's 1400 years now, the Quran is the eternal truth that we Muslims believe, that the Quran is the eternal truth and it's the final revelation, Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen, which I believe strongly. Now, the Bible was the truth one time 2,000 years ago. Now, why is something the truth and not the truth afterwards? I mean, what's happening on that topic? It was truth before and then it must be tampered with or something going on. So there's a lot of things happening at the moment. But obviously, how long was the Bible the truth for? And how long did it end and then the Quran came in? I mean, what's happening, what's going on with that, with respect? Sorry, I wish I could say more. But my words, when I talk to you, in this beautiful way, I mean, my words not coming out my mouth because I ran out of words, but alhamdulillah, I respect you highly. And this is my third Itikaaf as well. I'm coming from London. I came in 2011, I came in 2012, and this is 2015. I'm not saying that to big myself up or anything. I'm just saying because I really like this place and my heart sit here and I feel comfortable here. I came all from London, 220 miles away, to get answers and for the beneficial for the whole universe, for as many people, inshallah. Allah Akbar. Amen.
Who have understood the question? Do you understood the question? क्या है ताकि फिर आपको जवाब तब भी समझ आएगा ना जब आपको question समझ आया. So everyone understood the question? If अगर तो question समझ आ गया, मैं नहीं, I don't repeat what he asked. If you have not understood, तो फिर आप हाथ खड़ा कर ले. Who hasn't understood the question? उसने क्या पूछा है? ठीक है. So those who have understood, what was the question? Inko बताइए, you can take please, so the others can understand who have not understood. नहीं, इनको. Listen carefully so that then we can listen to the answer.
I think this is what you meant. For how long was the Bible the truth? And as to when did Quran come, as to when the Bible got changed, basically? And then when did Quran got revealed and so on? Is that? Yeah.
Right, okay. Yeah, so the question is that, the other is asking that why is it and how did the Bible become corrupted and why did it, when it was truth at one time and then how long it remained truth and etc. And why is the Quran now actually preserved and the ultimate truth when Bible was also, the Torah, Injil was revealed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, why they were corrupted or changed or had addition. The reason is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not take responsibility to preserve the previous books himself. He put it on people. This book is different, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Inna nahnu nazzalna dhikra wa inna lahu al-hafizun. That we have revealed this book and we will protect it. But Allah never said this about Bible, Torah, Injil, Zabur, that we have revealed and will protect. Who had the responsibility? The people. And when something is put on people, people can go a little bit lazy, anything, due to time, due to some bribes, when people paid the scholars, the ulama to change certain things, the rich people. And because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had not taken that responsibility, and because Allah azza wa jal knew that this book is for limited time, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala took responsibility for the book which is being forever. That was for only, he knew that there is a prophet coming after. Prophet Moses, there will be Jesus, and Prophet Jesus, there will be Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So it was in the knowledge of Allah that they are going to come book, there is going to come a book, there is going to come a prophet, so that was for a limited time. So it is like many, without any similitude, certain food, certain milk, which is to be, the company knows and it's be used in 2-3 days, they have date of 3-4 days. Because they know people will use this actually and finish. They are done. But if they want to keep it for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, there are other preservatives used in that special milk boxed, and you can keep that milk for 2 months, and it doesn't need refrigeration, and it will be preserved. It depends actually. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knew that this book, Injil, will be needed only 500 years or 800,000 years, 2,000 years, or whatever about the Torah and Zabur. And Injil was only 500, and then there will be Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam coming and the new book. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala azza wa jal made it available for those people until Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam came. So it was truth, and there were many scholars who knew what is the truth in the Bible and thing, and the scholars were existing. But near the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and before him, changes came. But there were scholars alive who knew the truth. Actually, how the big changes came in the Bible was because of a person with the name Paul. He was a scholar, the same Saint Paul. He was very much against Isa alayhi salam when he was living. He was very much against him. He opposed him all his life. But after actually Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when he raised him up to the heaven, he became a Muslim, or actually claimed to be a Muslim, or followers of Jesus Christ. So people were impressed that this person have been opposing, but now he is very loyal to Jesus. So he once said, I saw a vision. Whatever was in the Bible was in the Bible, in the Injil. He said, I saw a vision. Isa alayhi salam spoke to me, and he said, I am Son of God, I am 3 in 1, and that is true. And people believe, and that's how the things change. There's no base upon text of Torah and Injil. It is because of vision. That is why I say visions, dreams are very dangerous if you do not know, or if they're not interpreted. So that's how, when it began to be corrupted because of Saint Paul's vision, and then near the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, almost there were no one on the right path except few scholars, and then actually that was the need of the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, and also the book of Quran. So in actual fact, you may say that all Europe was Muslim. All people who are living in Europe, or mostly, this Muslim blood running in them. Because at that time, who were Muslims? Followers of Jesus Christ. And these people in the 1st, 2nd century accepted Islam, 3rd century after Jesus Christ. So these European people of UK, Denmark, Sweden, Norway, France, Holland, Germany, etc., they were Muslim. So these people are very receptive and they will take a message, because at that time, like Prophet Muhammad ﷺ is from the Middle East, Jesus was considered to be from a Middle Eastern person. A person who lived in Jerusalem, in Middle East, far from Europe. But when they knew, when truth was explained to them, they accepted. Today, if it is explained again to them that this is another personality came after 5 centuries, you already believed in one personality from that area. Now he is this, in the same line, he has come as the last prophet. They will also understand, and people are becoming Muslim. Why they are not becoming Muslim? Because we, the followers of Jesus Christ who came to Europe, they were the best people. They are the best conduct. They were missionary people who came to convey the message. They were truthful people, honest people, like true. And people of Europe were impressed by them. Oh, these people are wonderful. Although they are from Arab or they are from Palestine, etc. But their character, their teaching, their love is very... So they were impressed by their honesty, integrity, and they became Muslim. Unfortunately, we came here not for dawah, we came for pounds and dollars. And when we came for pounds and dollars, we were just dumping our heads in dunya and earning. And whatever these people have anything good, we did not follow that. Rather, introduced other things, fraud and more, doing more bad things and this. And rather following them, rather than showing them any true path, we went into their discos, their clubs, their casinos, and their brothels and their things, and actually, so how would these people learn from them? Rather, we are pushing them away from Islam. Because unfortunately, they're seeing, if this is Islam, they don't want to accept that kind of Islam. So in actual fact, as I said, that these people, at once, they embraced Islam. Their ancestors embraced Islam. And they have Muslim blood in them, all of them. I mean, actually, the European people who were Christian at one time, that's what they were Muslims at one time. So now, yourself and myself should play that role to show them the true representation of the message again. And inshallah, many millions will accept again. And the Quran already mentioned, وَإِن مِّنْ أَهْلِ الْكِتَابِ إِلَّا لَيُؤْمِنُنَّ بِهِ. Allah subhanahu already mentioned that before the day of judgment, there will be no Christian and people of book, they are going to enter the fold of Islam. But how are we going to benefit? We will be punished because we didn't deliver a message, a proper message to them. They will accept Islam, but it will not be to our benefit. They will benefit, and the people who convey to them, they will benefit, not us. For us is that someone benefits through us. But we are at the moment struggling to stay Muslims ourselves. So first let's work on ourselves, our families, and then inshallah. جزاكم الله أحسن الجزاء سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك وصلى الله على النبي الأمين. أستغفر الله.